Welcome to the Financial Goddess channel, and thank you for watching yet another video. In this series, we focus on a journey of a successful business owner. My intent of sharing my journey and that of some of my friends with you is in the hopes to inspire you and also start a conversation around what is reality versus the picture perfect of what you might see on the movies or Instagram. So, firstly, I would like to start with sharing with you my definition of what success means to me. I recognize that all of you watching this video will have your own definition of what success looks like for you as an individual or as a business. So, my definition of being a successful business owner includes being profitable, also to be an expert in my own field, which is business and finance. Another definition, a hallmark of a success for me, means living life on my own terms. And finally, not being afraid to step outside of my comfort zone to continue to evolve. So, if you've had an opportunity to look at my website or my Facebook business page or my LinkedIn profile, or even if you're now tuning into these YouTube videos and you're enjoying watching the different series, I think it's important for you to understand that where I got through today, looking at everything, the knowledge that is in my head, all the technical knowledge, all the successes that I have built over the years, the client base, the financial means, none of that happened overnight. YouTube, social media, it can make it appear like an overnight success. That's really the case. It might be the case with talented musicians, for example. Somebody might sing on a YouTube and they have beautiful voice and all of a sudden they become overnight sensation. In most other fields, especially in the business world, it's a long journey. Where I am today, the successes that I've experienced today, the level of accomplishments that I've experienced today has taken hard work over the last 20 years or so. None of that happened overnight. And throughout my 20-year journey, by no means was my success just a straight line going through. It's life threw me curveballs. There has been a lot of challenges, but in my personal life and with my health and with finances, there were times where I felt overwhelmed. I had self-doubt, didn't know whether I could do it. So by no means is it a clear-cut and straight journey. And from what I know from my friends and other successful business owners, my clients, and some autobiographies of famous business people and leaders that I have read, it's a common theme that line to success is not very straightforward. It's the ability to stay resilient and to overcome the challenges and obstacles, and the ability to bounce back. Life has a funny way of throwing us around and throwing us curveballs, and some horrible challenges in many cases. However, it's our ability to bounce back. It's our ability to stay persistent and to keep going. And my approach to life always has been there is at least two solutions to every problem. If you have that kind of mindset, you might not necessarily know the answers straight away, but if you have the mindset of looking for at least two solutions, you're bound to find them. Depending on the size and complexity of the problem, it might take you a day, a week, or a few months to find the ideal solutions. However, there's always at least two. And I like to remind that to my clients that are in later stage of startups. I see quite a common pattern when people walk into my office. A person walks in fed up with their corporate world or looking for a new challenge. They might have a great concept or idea in their head. The first thing is at the beginning of the startup, they are enthusiastic, full of ambitions and goals and a vision of themselves, like what they see on the Instagram, sitting by the pool on the laptop, or being at Bora Bora, or driving the latest Ferrari. And it's great to have those dreams and it's great to have those visions, but unless they're embedded in reality with solid action plans, people run out of steam. And when you don't have realistic expectation of what the journey to success really looks like, because not many people are willing to talk about the hard days and the tough times, then unfortunately I think it's a disservice to society and any person with a vision. So people come in and the clients, they're just so full of passion and ideas and enthusiastic, and then I see them 12 months down the track and 2 years down the track and 3 years down the track, and without the necessary readjustment in their approach to their journey to success, I see people turn to being demotivated, to being deflated, oftentimes running out of money before their business even had a chance to take off the ground. And because I've seen that happen time and time again with startup businesses, I have decided to share my journey and that of my clients and fellow friends with you, in the hopes that if you're going to watch this video, you're going to have more realistic expectation as what the journey looks like. And if you go into it prepared, you are more likely to succeed in the long term, and you're more likely to be able to overcome the obstacles and challenges that you know to expect along the way, as it's never a smooth sailing. So I'm going to look with you at some of the common misconceptions that I find my clients and my friends have experienced and help you to overcome these. The first one is that instant clients. People think that as soon as they have a great product or service or a great idea, clients will just naturally run through the door, whether it's their video going viral or all of a sudden everyone demanding their latest, greatest product or service. And that leads me to point two, having a lot of income and positive cash flow and everything being just fine and great, and you making lots of money and living the lifestyle, having the freedom, having the holidays. The reality is very different, whether you're starting up online or whether you physically have a brick and mortar shop. It will take some time and substantial amount of money spent on marketing, advertising, and promoting of your business before your desired audience or desired clients or customers can come through the door. Think about in case of YouTube, for example. If you want to become a famous YouTuber, you're fighting through algorithms on popularity scale that the more popular you are and the more subscribers that you have, the more likely YouTube is going to showcase your video, versus the less popular you are and the less subscribers that you have, the less likely you're going to appear in searches. That is the same case if you have a website. People will go on Google and search for products and services, but if your website is new, it takes a certain amount of time for Google to crawl through your website, and then if your website is not SEO optimized or is of poor quality or has poor quality backlinks, for example, Google will penalize you, and your ranking, you might not be ranked up till page 3, 4 or further. And the reality is that the customers or clients looking for your product or service will only look at maybe top 3, top 4 of the results listed on Google's first page only. So it's a lot harder out there to be found. Even in the case of having a traditional brick and mortar shop, you've opened a shop, and chances are, unless you're in the middle of a busy shopping center, people are unlikely to just walk past your shop, feel enticed enough to walk in and find out what your business is really about and what you're offering. It will require for you to have some flyers, some nice signage outside, do some promotional activities around what your business is and what it stands for, and it will require a substantial marketing budget. So that instant client, sure, you might have a family or a friend that uses your product or service, but in order not to be considered a hobby but be considered a real business, instant clients are unlikely to happen. So it's important to understand that whilst your business can be successful, it's more like a marathon rather than a sprint. Your video is unlikely to go viral, and you're unlikely to have instant clients sufficient enough to pay for your expenses and to make some money. Which brings me to the second misconception, and that is of an income. Sure, any sale can count as an income, but the reality is that most of the time, before your business becomes successful, it will take some time, and we're talking about 6 or 12 months or even longer before your business starts generating sufficient income. This is why one of my first advice to my clients and to myself has been to maintain a regular paid job, our regular 9 to 5 corporate job, so that we have sufficient money coming through to meet our personal expenses, and at the same time use the money from the job to help us meet ongoing expenses of setting up and running a business that doesn't generate enough income to start with. When I first decided to go back and restart running Financial Goddess, I was working as a general manager for a major multinational company. I have maintained the job for a period of 6 months whilst I was in the process of setting up my own business. It was incredibly challenging. I'm not gonna lie to you, I had hardly any sleep because both the role of a GM and the process of starting up my own business, dealing with registrations, building up websites and everything else that comes with it, creating a business plan, business model. I didn't sleep a lot, but I had a bigger goal. There were times that I felt overwhelmed. There was times where I felt like just giving up. But then I thought, giving up is not an option. I know that running my own business is something that I truly want, something that will truly make me happy, and I have to be willing to make whatever sacrifices are necessary to make it happen. So for a period of 6 months, I worked as a GM, worked long hours under a lot of stress, a lot of deadlines, and did everything I had to do in that role to see the big multinational succeed. And at the same time, behind the scenes, used the little time that I had to get my business from a point of a startup to a point where I was able to financially let go of my GM role and solely live off my business. Which leads me to a third common misconception when we're talking about a journey of successful business owner, which is the positive cash flow. The reality is that for majority of businesses out there, including yours, including mine, it takes time before business generates enough income to meet its ongoing expenses, the cost associated with expansion of business, as well as generating enough income to meet your personal obligations. On average, it takes 2 to 3 years to turn the business into a profitable business. And what nobody talks about is the sacrifices that you have to make on your personal level. Chances are that if you are like majority of successful business owners, those first 2 or 3 years that you are starting your new business, you'll be the poorest that you have ever been, living the worst quality of lifestyle that you have ever lived, outside of if you went to uni and you were a poor uni student. Now, the reason being is because in order for you to help your business have the best chance to succeed, you need to drastically cut down on your personal expenses. So, sure, people say, yeah, I can continue to work somewhere 9 to 5 for God knows how many years and then do my business on the side. Trust me, it doesn't work. I've seen too many people take on that path where they're not willing to get the timing right between leaving their employer and focusing on their business. And you know what? The business ends up being neglected. It ends up being something that never takes traction, that sits just on the back burner, and it's no longer a viable business. It's more like a hobby on the side for which then they get too tired to run. If you want a successful business, you need to have a cutoff point. So for me, that cutoff point was after 6 months. For you, it might be 6 to 12 months. Dragging it beyond 12 months should be something that would be the last resort. You should be focusing on doing everything that you can in the first 6 to 12 months of starting a business to get to the point that you can walk away from your 9 to 5 job and focus 100% of your effort on your business. So why the 6 to 12 months? Really simple. If you think about the process of starting up a business and launching it, the very first 6 months, nothing exciting really happens. You go through the processes of registering for tax file number, registering for ABN, getting your domain name, building the website, all the boring bits that happen behind the scenes. You might also be working on a business plan, thinking about your business structure, whether you want to be a company or a trust, partnership, or a sole trader. All this stuff, whilst it requires your brain power, you're really relying on someone else doing the work for you. You're really relying on the accountant doing the registrations for you, or a lawyer advising you of the right business structure, or an accountant advising you of the right business structure. You relying on your accountant preparing the business plan for you. There's not a lot of hands-on work involved. You might also start thinking about setting up social media profiles, and you might play around and create Facebook for business, maybe an Instagram page, maybe a YouTube channel. It's a very experimental phase where you have a lot of time to set the foundations for your business. You could be working on business cards and logos. Maybe you're looking at the premises and the tagline and the vision for your business. All these exciting things that don't really require your full-time attention. However, once all that is done and you're officially in your 6 to 12 months of being in business, if you've done things correctly, then your business is going to start to get traction. You'll start to get noticed. You'll start to get client inquiries, and you'll have to start putting in the work to service your clients. And usually from your first clients and their expectations, you'll start learning based on their feedback and readjusting your course of action. So if at that point in time you're still working full-time for someone else, you have your corporate 9 to 5, you're not giving your business and your clients the respect that it needs to continue to grow. You'll find yourself too tired. You'll find yourself forgetting to respond to client emails and inquiries. You'll find yourself constantly apologizing and disappointing people. And especially if you happen to have a tough boss and you might be in middle or senior management where there is a lot of deadlines, a lot of stress, a lot of long hours, you'll find yourself neglecting those new precious clients that you're so badly relying on as a startup business. And this is really the tipping point. Your very first clients, not your parents or your siblings or your best friends, but your very first real clients, in terms of the acquisition costs, are the highest cost that you will obtain in your business. So you want that to be a success story, and you want those clients to go out there and tell other people that they had a great experience using your product or your service. Through that natural word of mouth, your business will continue to grow and you'll continue to find the success that you so badly desired as a startup. On the other hand, when you invest a lot of time and a lot of money on acquiring those very first real customers, and they're disappointed, you're not responding to their needs, you're not responding to their inquiries, and they have a negative experience in dealing with you, that negative word will spread around and will become increasingly harder for you to get a new client that is willing to give you a chance, because at that point in time, your business reputation has already been jeopardized. Another misconception, and social media and influencers are a big part to blame for it, but so are business owners who've succeeded and are simply not sharing the reality of what it took to get there, is that misconception of freedom. Everybody talks about work-life balance, and if you look at the social media posts on Facebook and Instagram, all these people that claim to be successful and rich, it seems like all they're doing is sit on holidays and spend money at expensive shops, and they have this unrealistic idea of freedom. And that's especially more so seen with the millennials, that they go into business and they have this expectation that things, we're impatient, things will quickly turn into positive cash flow, and you have that freedom to do whatever the hell you want with the time and money. The reality is very different. Yes, you are free to make the decisions that you want. You are free to run your own schedule, but you are going to work harder than you have ever worked before. And you're going to, at least initially, work longer hours than you have ever worked before. And you're going to initially make a lot less money than you have ever made before. And so why is that? It's quite simple. You're giving up your 9-to-5 job in which you had an established career, and your pay was dictated, at least in Australia, by the awards assigned with either your role or the industry you're working in. When you run your own business, you're no longer an employee, you're a business owner. There's no minimum hourly rate that you're going to get paid. You're going to pay yourself what you can afford to pay yourself after the bills are paid. And because initially you don't have sufficient income to hire all these experts and have team working for you, you are going to wear a lot of hats. All of a sudden, you will find yourself needing to learn skills and be an expert, or at least proficient, in a lot of different things, from managing leases to managing finance to hiring people to marketing and social media and creating flyers for the clients and customer engagement. All of a sudden, all these responsibilities and all that it takes to run and operate a business all will rest on your shoulders. And it will be some time before your business will be in a position where you can hire experts and delegate to them to do those chores. In the meantime, it will be your responsibility. So that freedom won't be there. And even when your business scales up, and even when you have teams and teams of people, you really don't have that freedom. I hate to break it to you, but when you run your own business and you're dealing with people, life happens. Every business owner that I know of, the bigger the size of the business, the more stress and pressure has been on them. Sure, you might no longer be doing the technical side of the jobs, but now you're responsible for people and people's drama in their real life. People are always will be getting sick, getting married, retiring, running late to work, having a bad day, changing jobs, wanting promotion, wanting a pay rise, you will have people and people issues that you will then start dealing with. I'm not saying freedom is impossible. I'm just saying having a realistic understanding and expectation of what it takes to be in a business and what does successful business owner's life look like is important to understand from the get-go. And the next misconception is the holidays and the lifestyle. Again, I'm going to talk about social media here. There's a lot of posts out there about people being on holidays and just sitting around looking, all attractive, going on shopping sprees, having this designer watches, designer cars, and the whole luxury lifestyle. Whilst it's true that when you have successful business, you can certainly afford the luxury designer items and you can afford this luxury holidays, the bottom line is your life is never going to be stress-free. As long as you're running a business, as a business owner, the buck stops with you. When I go on holidays, I could be, sitting in a nice, luxurious resort, enjoying a great quality holidays. However, my phone is still with me, to which I have access to emails and client inquiries. Sure, I don't answer all client inquiries, but emergencies do happen. And when there is an urgent situation in my business that requires my attention, then it doesn't matter where I am on holidays and how much in advance I've booked it in. I'll pull myself back from that holidays and take care of my responsibilities. Whether it's just a quick phone call to somebody else that can assist me, whether it's jumping back in the business or responding to that email or jumping on that quick Zoom conference call, if you want to be a successful business owner, that is what it takes to succeed. It often does mean having that mobile phone with you. No, it doesn't mean being always rude to your family and talking business on the phone during dinner or during family get-togethers or anything crazy like that. Sure, you can put boundaries around it, and I'll do another video just on business boundaries. However, you need to understand that when you're a business owner, nothing fits with convenience into little compartments. It's not like you're a business owner from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through to Friday, and you're only a parent or a husband or a wife from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. The reality is that you're a business owner 24/7. You're a husband or a wife or a child of someone 24/7. You're a parent 24/7. And so you gotta learn to roll with the punches, and you gotta learn to reprioritize things and shift schedules around and to take care of your responsibilities as and when they arise. So in the end, is it worth it? Absolutely. If you're prepared to do the hard work that it takes to be a successful business owner, if you are prepared to make the sacrifices necessary for the long-term success, if you're prepared to give up the instant gratification and look at the long-term outcomes of any decision that you're making, and if you set yourself with realistic expectations of what it does and doesn't mean to be a business owner, and finally, if you go in it for the right reasons, if you're going to run your own business because it's something that you're really good at and you really enjoy and you found the market niche, good on you, go for it. But if you're turning around and walking away from 9 to 5 without the real skills, talent, or really able to contribute much in terms of a different business model out there, and you're hoping for instant fame, instant success, and being millionaire with a luxury lifestyle, I hate to break it to you, but that is not what a real business success looks like. If you enjoyed this video and enjoyed the start of the series of Journey of a Successful Business Owner, please subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to sharing with you more of a successful business stories. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.